Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to the Wary Lines. This is the Stadler Flirt, the Class 755 by ATS. We're in a 755-3 today. That's because it's a 3 car. A 755-4 is a 4 car. Gonna hop in the cab. I do have a keybind thing in to basically help me just prep the train a bit easier. Get logged in. Log in. I'm just going to prep the train from memory here, and then we'll talk a bit. That's the diesels kicking on. Handbrake comes off. We're gonna. So you pre-select your speed limit there, and then you select it with the speed set. Depress. We are 2 Charlie 2-3 today, and what signal are we up against? Wait, where is the platform start signal here? That's the banner repeater. Well, isn't that interesting? 482 is our signal number. So we have 2 Charlie 2-3. And 482 on the signal ID. Now, we are going to plug in our head code. But I'm going to really quickly open the plugin, which I've forgotten to open. So just be 1 second whilst I get that up in front of me. No, that's the wrong one. That's what I want. That's jumped on. So we're now going to put in 2 Charlie 2-3. Confirm that. That's now loaded. That now knows that we're traveling from Great Yarmouth to Norwich, and it's got all the information it needs. Release the doors on the right. There you go. And we are ready to depart. So the headlights have configured themselves. We've got the generator of the thrash pack. Is now active. So basically, this is a bi-mode multiple unit. The 755s effectively are EMUs with a diesel generator in the middle. So when you go over to diesel mode, you turn the diesel on, drop the pan, and the diesel is just still spinning the same electric motors that were being spun by. Yeah, it's basically a far more obvious way of doing it than they do it on the 800s. Also, this is obviously the updated route, so we're no longer on semaphores. We are on wonderful colour light signals. This changeover happened during 2020. They are limiting the length of platforms here, so it would have been good to have made the basically so that people don't walk all the way down here. We've also got updates here, like the fencing's been put up for the Eastern Rail Services depot here. So that this is empty. This scenario is literally the way it comes from ATS. I've got all the requirements I need, but ERS obviously has like a whole range of stuff dumped in there. Usually. Oh, wonderful. We didn't actually start a pickup instruction. I'm now officially late. Anyway, reverser goes forward. Like I say, the handbrake is definitely off now. DRA can be released because we've got the green on the banner repeater. And we're just going to wait for that to complete, and then we're going to gun it out of here. What I'll actually do is, because we are due to be away, press the door close button. We verify that the PTI is clear, which it is. There's no one within the arrow line. Pickup instruction complete. We can now pull away. I'm going to turn the hood off for this bit. This isn't obviously a proper route liner. This is just us first looking, but I can turn the hood off because I know this section of track quite well. So the standard PTI issues are present. Splat. This is something that really annoys me with train sim, is when you get people doing this. This is, you know, in real life, that is bad. Right. So obviously we know our next stop is Berney Arms.
For Norwich, you will be calling at Berney Arms, Reedham, Cantley, Brundall.
So you can hear the announcements kicking in there. That's flange sound. The next stop's Berney Arms, yes. That also shows off the ASDO feature. ASDO is basically clever door manoeuvres. So you are getting some weird track run sounds there. Just dropping it into idle, seeing what that effect that has. Anyway, we are through 50 here, so I'm going to tap up my speed, and then I'm going to press Control F. I've got a mod in, which makes it L. Yeah, we were revving incredibly hard for some reason. That's best known to the game. But away we go. So yeah, overall, we'll do a quick capture of the 755. There are no cab differences immediate from 745 that I can think of. It is a weird cab. Most UK cabs you can't see out the sides as clearly as you can on this. It feels very continental to drive. But we're up to 50. And it's 60 passing, cool. But working our way around, master switch, this is the main screen that I find you use. So the stuff you use is along the bottom here. These first two, this is your changeover electric, this is your changeover to diesel. We're in diesel mode at the moment. Can't remember what that is, that's handbrake release, can't remember what that is, that'll probably be AC controls. That's the DSD. Fun little fact for you, there's also a distance measuring in this. So you can see there's the 60 post on the left. So if I double tap the DSD pedal, you'll hear that is my distance travel complete. Obviously you can see the DAS has figured that out as well. There you go, we're tapping up to 60 now. Now that is mainly this screen. Obviously all these you can click into, so I can look at engine information if I want, how many RPM I've got on right now. So I've got 90, about 2100 revs, 240 kilonewtons available from, yeah. Handbrake information, pantograph information. Obviously VCB is open, pans down, that's as expected. Isolation switches are both open. Coupling up, so that is information for that. Headlight controls, so you can do stuff like headlights on, marker lights. No, that's apparently not working. Interesting. There may be a white, but yeah, there you go. So you can set taillights up. That's weird. Anyway, moving around. Oh, you've also got your hazard lights, which, yeah, it's a bit funky. I'm still figuring those parts out. What else? Got toilet information. So fresh water tank, 75%, 91%, 0% used on the accessible toilet UAT, and 10% used on that one. The way I'm actually going to know to brake here is I'm listening out for the announcement for Berney Arms. That kicks in about a mile from the stop usually. Anyway, call for aid, so it gives you all sorts of information there. Logging in, logging out. Basically everything's got some switches here. Slow mode, you can turn that on. Yeah, pretty cool. So this is literally access for a lot, for canal boats to come out and go out to sea, basically. How pretty does it look, though? Like, it feels very Thomas the Tank Engine-esque, this. Do 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 do. There you go. So I've got the E key to press there. So also the train knows I'm at 60.5 miles an hour here. That's why it's saying to slow down. If I just dump us, use a slight amount of brake there. There you go. It's now saying coast. Now I've dropped a little bit too far. It's saying accelerate up to 60, please. That is the gist of this screen. We'll talk about more screens between Berney Arms and Reedham. So you don't get much in the visual references here. It's not like a house you break at. There's nothing here. Berney Arms is famous for being remote, and that's about it. There was a pub here that's now closed. Okay, I need to brake because that is the stop. So I'm going to quite sharply brake on. I think this is the stop. Yeah, I misjudged that quite badly. Oh well. I'm already late, so we'll just fast forward time. Stay at 25, because this isn't about good driving, this is just about showing off the 755. Uh-oh. So I want this to be roughly halfway down the screen. That will indeed do. So you can see one coach is platformed here, the others are not. I'm going to press the T key, start the timer, but we'll release the door, and you can see this side, this coach here, the door is unlocked. It may open. You can see the green ring lights flashing and illuminated, and someone's boarding in game lore. But at the back here, these coaches have remained locked. That's because the ASDO's kicked in, and it knows we're at Berney Arms, so it knows to only release the doors in the front coach. So you can see disabled by ASDO is the last two coaches. Press the door close command. And we'll just thrash it out of here up to 60 as well. We'll listen to a full power thrashing. So you can hear the electrics motor is there. Then the diesel's really kicking up. That's the diesel in that, and then we'll back over at the electrics. There's the Thomas the Tank Engine windmill. Yeah, so anyway, that's that. Next screen across, we're trying to look at. This one has some clickable cool functionality. I don't tend to find I use it. We'll just reduce it like a 10%. See, so if oversped ever so slightly, we're not technically speeding according to the game, but according to DAS, it knows we're above 60.0, therefore it's saying slow down. DAS is digital something something system. Basically, the idea with DAS is this isn't properly simulated in train sim, but it knows how fast you're going, it knows what the train in front is, therefore it can figure out how fast you should go to avoid like hammering up behind it. It's a very rudimentary implementation within train sim. This has got it, 745's got it, and 385's got it. Obviously this is your traction brake force indicator, that's standard. That's something on GU. Not sure what that icon would mean about the wheelchair space. Thrash pack. So yeah, basically that's just giving me stuff. This is probably clickable, but I just don't want to click, so I'm scared I'll break it. So yeah, the only thing I can click here is the brake, and I'm assuming that would be locked out because I'm on the move. Also down here, emergency brake plunger, door closed, door open, reverser. Just realised, have I completely say that's Thomas the Tank Engine one. Ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da. So yeah, this is basically in the intro. That's cool. I've never noticed that before. In the distance, over that way, you can see some chimneys. That is a sugar beet plant. We actually drive under it. It's Cantley, I think. Yeah, Cantley. Anyway, but yeah. So that's DAS for you. Obviously, reverse speed set, throttle. We're in idle at the moment. I'm just coasting because we can. Speedo indicates obviously speed, and then I pre-select my speed limitation in there. GSMR radio, TPWS5, DRA. This is fairly standard functionality. I do wonder actually if they had any. No, they didn't add functionality. So, for example, you click that in real life, and there's a phone book saved within your GSMR. So it'll be things like control, maintenance controller, that kind of stuff. Obviously, this is your PIS screen. You can look at things like CCTV. You can basically adjust your journey through it, ASDO, stuff like that. We'll just leave it on PIS for now. Start the slowdown, and then, yeah, some of it, like I say, some of the screens aren't accessible when you're on the move. Kind of makes sense, let's be honest with ourselves. I quite like these messages popping up, but they also do get a bit intrusive at times. I definitely like it for the DVD because that doesn't sound outside, but for AWS, yeah, the only time you'd need it is if you're hoodless, and then it's still quite intrusive. And actually, that's quite a nice little screen grab. Shame about that shadow, but that's fine. See, if I was being really pedantic, I'd go into World Editor, like remove whatever's cast like that tree for a sec, like set the log to be stupendously high, remove it, take the screenshot, put it back. But I don't mind that much. So now that we're slowing down from the 60, we'll bring down the preset, press L to lock it in, and there's your 30 post. And we're just going to coast over this. Bit of high-speed flanging sound. That sound when we pulled out of lower stuff was weird. Oh, Great Yarmouth, sorry. Because like now, I'm not getting it at all. So I don't think it was flanging. I think I'd somehow confused the thrashback. Or I don't know if it maybe had to cool off or something. I genuinely don't know. See, I blipped it there. And I've got that sound again. So pulling it back down. I know they said they had issues in terms of the sounds that were available to them. So it's very much possible that it's just been a case of appropriate sound not available. I'm gingerly easing my way into these stops. Bit long. No ASDO to here, all the doors released. Sorry.
Next stop will be Cantley.
There we go. So, look at CCTV. Well, you've got it on here. So you've got your dispatch. So you've got your A, C and D, or your three cars that are platformed. And you'd be looking at that before you close the doors. Then that's your onboard CCTV as well, which is quite handy. So it also shows you which carriage you're looking at. So I'm looking then carriage A. I've got a pan cam. And I've got a forward-facing CCTV. So that looks like Ipswich that they're in down on one of the platforms there. It's quite handy in that sense, and you can move throughout the train as well. So you've got your toilet there, and then you're moving all the way through, and that's at the very front of the coach. There you go. So we'll close the doors. Did I reach the doors on the wrong side there? I don't think I did. Well, anyway. So my SPAD's approved. I think there must be some sort of bug going on. So what I'm going to have to do is train stop override, depress. And that'll allow me to keep going without being knocked out by the TPWS system. So we've covered off all the screens, we've covered off all the systems. Wipers, sanding,
This service for
AWS dinger.
you will be calling at Cantley.
Yeah, so we're just going to proceed at line speed and just accept that's a bug.
The next stop will be
I'm going to tap up my speed. Now you can see the train still limits itself until I press L, and then we thrash away up to 60. So that's the sugar beet plan that we saw earlier. It's the first time I've noticed it, which is quite cool. So anyway, let's look at the manual up for my next trick. Driving manual. So externals, yeah. So basically, a Dash 3 has three coaches and 2 engines. A Dash 4 has 4 coaches and 4 engines. Passenger view. pretty standard stuff here. We can have a look. I've got my things like actually one of the cool things you can do. So you saw the lights, quite garish there. If I go, bloop, that's quite a bit nicer to be in the reduced light setting. We're at 60. Cantley's our next stop. Got a green aspect on the next. Train stop override to reset itself. I think it gives like a timer. Cab controls, we've covered off on. Yeah, so it's F, R and Control F for the speed controls originally. Apply standing is X when you hold it. U and O for door release on left and right. We've covered that. We've covered that. Yeah, we've covered everything really. Quick start we've covered off on. We've covered off on everything really. Power off. I'm going to just power off for now. I'm going to brake about half a mile out. DVD, DRA we've covered off. So DRA, drives around reclines. Turn it on, turn it off. It basically treats you as though you've never been in a train sim before, which is fair enough. So yeah, Cantley, I was right. This is the location for the sugar beet plant. Those are the chimneys we saw. Just really hammering in that brake. You can see how quickly this thing slows down. It's not as rapid as the 745 in the slowdown, but it's still pretty cool. Let's see, we're scrolling our way down. ASL, we've talked about. TCMS, we've talked about. Yes, so the driver advisory system, that's the one, allows drivers to gain advice to assist them when driving the train economically. The system has been implemented as per reality when it guides drivers into coasting, slowing, holding for line speed. Due to the nature of TSA, we cannot replicate giving economic driving advice to get you in on time. There we go, coast. You may need to respond with signals or station stops, in which DAS would not guide you with. Please stop. That'll do. So we'll pop the doors on the left. So you can see again, so we've released the doors, they don't open. PIS. There is actually information with this as well on how to make the doors release. So if you hold it for 5 to 10 seconds, it forces the doors open and they stay open basically. So that would be sort of for like kicking out at the end of the day, or if you're in the shed, won't let the cleaners on. ASDO, automatic selective door operation system has been implemented on the 755 to provide accurate door opening due to TS limitation. System is only activated when a head code has been inputted, and it heavily relies on the plugin. Make sure the plugin is running prior to starting, which I did. That's how I got the announcements today. We'll close the doors. Brundall next. We're getting quite late now. Sorry. Brakes off. Again, thrash. So you check your cameras and stuff before pulling away, but we don't really care about that at the moment. The above bar shows you the station. Yes, so obviously it gives you information about the train, which is fine. OTCM, on-train camera monitoring. So we talked about obviously the dispatch cameras, CCTV cameras. After these a changeover. So basically you press some buttons, it's fine. Cold start, guidance, FAQs. There's basic advice on making sure the train moves. Good. Miscellaneous. Pantograph will arc. If raised, when in motion, chances greatly increased. After dusk, or in drizzly/icing conditions, or in autumn/winter. EBI, external brake indicators, are animated and accurately show correct brake state. Destination font are completely accurate for both front and side displays. Chris Horsfield. When wipers are in auto, they adapt to the intensity of the rain. No more manual intervention between drizzle and downpour. That's cool. Windscreen has wash and wipe feature activated, controlling Control V for 3 seconds. That's cool. We like that feature. Now imagine, right, if you combine that with, I'll say please stop. Hello? What have I done? Uh-oh. Okay. There you go, that's stopped now. I like that a lot. Message proper boxes for DVD. Functional speedometer light. Click to toggle between on and off. Oh, so there's actual... That's cool. We like that. Variable door opening is 3 modes. Press the door open buttons for 1 second to unlock all doors. Passengers will open and close after a short duration. 2 to 5 seconds to open all doors, which will still close after a short duration to keep HVAC systems from overworking. Press 5 to 10 seconds to keep all doors open, and they will remain open. That makes sense. Phew, I thought I was going to slam on the brakes there. Looks absolutely class. Bit of hunting as well, which I quite like. Quite common in modern units. You can see it sort of bouncing from side to side to go around the curve. That's really common. I have it on a zoomers all the time, and I'm literally sitting there rocking from side to side. It's a full motion sickness apparently. Due to some limiting factors in TSC, some things look a little awry. Raindrops don't shuffle around the wiper blades. Wiper dial doesn't always move when controlled from the keyboard. Great Yarmouth notify Reedham. So yeah, 4 scenarios are included, all on the Waries. Well, this is the updated Wary lens that comes with the route. Hence you've got call light signals and updated crossings as well. Be interesting to see Brundall. I've got a video coming out of a scenario I've done where you pick up and recover a failed 755. Just a point of note here. Yeah, this signal is not being affected by any shadows. And that's weird. Not massively noticeable, but actually, is that just missing a texture? That's potentially missing a texture, so it may be a me issue. But still, that looks weird as fuck. As we come in for our slowdown into Brundall, see the platform on the other side? That's the other side of the roadway. We got the platform on this side. There'll be an ASDA application here, I think, potentially. Potentially. Hello? Please stop. Okay, I've gone wrong here. This may mess the ASDA up. I should have done the wrong press then. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. There you go. So that's popped all the doors open. The back doors were locked because of where we would have stopped originally. Actually, no, they should have been locked. But they are. It's all a bit weird. Anyway, we are clear to go. So yeah, you've got the modernised crossing here. Originally, in the original route, this is basically some wooden barriers that get manually moved across by a person. Proper thrashy noises. Don't cross. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the headphones off just so I can hear myself think for a bit, and you guys can hear me still good. So the requirements for Warrior Lines Modern and the scenarios. So obviously the unit itself, sorry, has no requirements. Knock us into coast for this point. But this route that I'm on now is a route that comes with the train, as I mentioned, to Warrior Lines Modern. And this sort of requirement for this and the scenarios included with it. Armstrong Powerhouse, Warrior Lines route, obviously. Signal EP, recommended, so optional, and optional is this kind of weather EP. EU Assets Pack, Gemmel, Academy, Liverpool, Manchester, 5 Circle, and the 755. That's fair enough. That's pretty good. And when we pull out, we'll do the we'll talk on the what do you call it? On the credits, and that'll be about done. And we'll just enjoy the last 6 or so miles into Norwich. So there feels like there's brake fade in this. Okay, so stuff like this is a bit of a shame. Just pull it down and turn it. So, or just even have it clipping slightly at the bottom, because that can happen where they're slightly over each other. But pull it down, like that's just, come on. And Darude, well, we're fully platformed in terms of doors, so door release on the left. Back doors probably won't unlock. No, they will. Interesting. They'd probably be struggling platformed. Everything is platformed though. Now, see, the great thing with these units as well, you can see this little step comes out. So you don't actually need a ramp on at most stations, I think, to actually deploy them. So you can see the door closed, the little ramp stays out, and now if I press the R key to lock the doors, the ramp stows itself. Pretty cool. And we're gonna do some thrash merchantry. We'll do 80%. So as we disappear off down the route, the credits. You've got Goose Studios for modelling, texturing, animations, and games for scripting, modelling, texturing, animations, sounds, practically everything. A true genius. Yatesy Simulation, source tutorials, project management. So I believe they are a actual 755 driver, or, well, GA flirt driver, I should say. Clouds for TCMS graphics, source destinations, typesetting, and Warrior Lines route development. Max Tracks for the sounds, Anthony Wood for the sounds, Kieran Wright for the external plugin, Richard Fletcher for the scenarios, Chris Horsfield for the scenarios and Warrior Line route development, Alan Thompson, inspiration and patience. Thanks to everyone who's helped with the source material and answering questions, and to our testing team. There you go, that's the manual read complete. So there you have it. We're at 60.5, so it's saying coast. Friendly the power on, to be fair. We can disregard that because that is for the Morpeth board for the oh, it's a 20 for everyone now. That's interesting. That never used to be so. So that's a difference I wasn't prepared for. So I knew there was a 20 limit coming up. However, I thought it was improved trains could do, but there's no speed. Ooh, I wanna know. Sorry. Yeah, it's this bridge here. This route is honestly, it's so nice to learn and be familiar with. I may only be really good at the sort of Reedham to Norwich section, but still, yeah, it's 60 for improved speed limit units like us. Well, any time we have recovered's gone. Oh no, we actually going to make it back right time potentially. After that, let's go. Let's just thrash it. For a second, I thought, like, oh, there you go. Got a line side view. These, I think, sort of have the Darth Vader nickname quite nicely. So, what was it? If you're being a bit fancy on the horns. What we can try and do is when we pull into Norwich, we'll kill the GU and we'll go to electric mode. It makes sense from a pollution perspective to to not run the generator units. Apparently they cut out themselves anyway. But we'll say we want to keep it plugged in for AC reasons or whatever. I don't really care. Like, I know these are load shed quite cleverly, so that the AC will stay active for ages and all that kind of stuff. But we're just okay. I was going to Ipswich after this empty stock and they want it on electric. I don't really care for law. I'm just doing it for reasons, basically. This is one of my favourite bridges. This on the route. Actually, I'd sit on this bridge and watch the train coast by. Like I say, well, we'll leave no power on, just coast it. So again, you've got a special foot crossing here. So this one's user operated, which is quite cool, but it basically gives you instructions here. So check the green light shows, open both gates, cross quickly, close both gates. That's one of the AP horns I heard when I was testing my own scenario on the AP version of the route the other day. So it looks like we'll get checked down. Like I say, when we come under wires, I will bring it to a stand, try to put the pan up, see if it'll let me. Obviously you can see at the moment, because we're on the move, we're locked out of that. More before for the 25, which we're aware of. And a green light on the way in. Quite professional since we're coming to the depot where everyone knows us. Crown Point. I'm concerned that I've not got a route set for me at the moment into the platform. At least according to that. Yeah, the route's not been set beyond that junction, which is fascinating. And that's actually our first AI train we've seen. That shows how quiet this route is. But it's still incredibly fun to drive on its way to Lowestoft. That's another 3 car. I did not even see a signal there. Oh, I've got the road set though. Let me pan yet? We'll stop the train in the platform in Norwich and sort it from there.
We are now approaching Norwich, where this train terminates. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
So I'm nice and idle now. And you got this. Oh, that's quite true. I'll quickly pause. Have a little look. Got the 745s over here. So that's 745 004 and 106. Oh, that's cool. So this one's on the Stansted Express. Stanex ones. Yep. So you can see this photo was definitely taken from a Canberra. If you don't get the reference, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh, they standard throw on Stanex Express. That makes sense now. Why is it a different classification? But anyway, yeah, that's cool though that we've got that in there as well. And we've got a 755-4. So this is the 4-car unit. It's still only got the one thrash pack, which is a different colour, which is interesting as well on those. But it's basically it powers. There's more of a load on it basically. Oh no, it's the same colour. How? Oh, it must be because the white stripes are a bit closer to it. So what we'll do, we'll release the doors at Norwich, and then we'll basically do the power changeover process. But it's cool to see, but as well, this is the good thing about this pack. It's expensive, but it's all you need for this route now. Once, I think they've said they're doing the event versus AI only. So once we have the 720s, that's all we really need, right? Just really easing it into Norwich here. There we go. We'll stop a little short, just means we're not making noise on the platform. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, no, it hasn't opened all the doors. Oh no, it has. There you go. That's all the doors now open for everyone to get off. I've not started the animation yet, or the timer yet, so will it let me? No. We'll kill the engine though. There's quite a jarring sound effect there. So overall, my 30-second opinion. Is it worth it? I think so. To me it is. It definitely fills a hole. And it goes on some routes I like to drive, and it's a well-modelled unit. The sounds, obviously, they've said themselves, are a little bit challenging. So they didn't have the best access to source, fair enough. And obviously, there's only so much you can do with what you've got. But aside from that, it's pretty spot on. I can't really think of anything I don't like about it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy. If you hit that like button, subscribe to see more from me on a regular basis, and we'll see you next time. Until then, bye.